Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And we got our birthday boy here and everything. You know, these evolutionary elders are taking over my show. I think this is the second show. And we had Mr. Whitten on, and he was telling the athletes about the different things. But here today is very important. We're going to have Dr. Eugene Williams here, and we're going to Wetzel Whitten. Now, all evolutionary elders, plus we're going to have Larry Small. He's going to teach us something about tennis and chess. So, hey, don't go away. Welcome to the Ed Brown Show. Tell me about this birthday.
Right.
What are you, 21 again?
Oh, the big 7-0.
Big 7-0. Congratulations.
Praise the Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us about this. These two books here that you're presenting to the public.
Well, 2 books, Words Crossing Across, Word Search on LeBron James, and Coloring with LeBron James. Now, I wrote Words Crossing Across, Word Search on LeBron James, but my friend in Oklahoma City, Tyrone Hardman, wrote Coloring with LeBron James.
I mean, what age you have to be to get a coloring book?
The coloring book
It's any age.
Yeah, any age, even seniors.
That's what I say. 70 to 70.
It's 70.
70 to 70.
Yeah, they are fantastic books, and I tell you, Tyrone Hardman from Oklahoma City did such a fantastic job illustrating both books. We praise him to the highest. He's just a fantastic person. But the Word Search book is designed to take LeBron James to another level in the eyes of young boys and girls. They know him as a basketball star, and that he is. But we want them to know him through words. If they learn the words that describe LeBron James.
So this is educational.
It is educational. It is not the typical
Coloring book.
Right, and it's not the typical word search book either.
Right.
Because, you know, in most word search books, you just find the word. In
this book, it's boring.
That's right. In this book, you got to find the word and use the word.
And use it, right.
And then, moreover, this book is loaded with illustrations by Tyrone Hardman. Tyrone Hardman. Oh, boy, they are beautiful. I want everybody to really take a look at them. And I want everybody to know Tyrone, because there are some people out there who may want to use Tyrone to do their illustrations. He did them for me. We met on Facebook.
Is that right?
I have never met him in person. We met on Facebook.
Everybody meets on Facebook. My grandson met his girlfriend on Facebook.
Really? Well, you know, it's interesting about Tyrone. We met on Facebook. He wanted a book that I had written, Words Crossing Across, Word Search on Barack Obama. I sent it to him. He sent me a picture of Mr. Barack Obama. I said to him, Tyrone, you can draw. He said, yes, just like that. Then I said, I'm doing a book on LeBron James. I want you to be the illustrator. He said, I will. And we can see the results of his work. It's just fantastic. So on this Thanksgiving Day, I give thanks to the Almighty, but I give thanks to Tyrone. I give thanks to all of my evolutionary elders, Mr. Whitten and others. I give thanks to my wife, Dr. Mary H. Johnson.
Excellent.
Who is an evolutionary elder as well.
All right. Well, tell me more about Mr. Whitten. Tell me what's going on with you.
Well, first,
you know, besides, see, you're almost a regular. You were on my last show there. We talk about the NBA and the football and all of that. Young athletes going in and just being a pawn for the owners. Tell us about what do you got your subject there?
Okay. Well, first, I'd like to again wish my evolutionary elder walk partner, Dr. Williams, another happy birthday again. And it's wonderful to have another evolutionary elder doing what we do. But back to your question, and I also want to say something about LeBron James. Dr. Williams and I, this is kind of, your show is where this was conceived, to do a book on LeBron James. And at that time, he was leaving the Cleveland plantation, if you recall, and you know, like the owner,
they want to run him out of town, man.
You know, the owner in Cleveland, you know, mistook him for Toby when he was Kunta Kinte. And he said, you know, I don't need to stay here. You know, he did his due diligence in Cleveland, and I'm proud of him for taking the lead and moving on with his life, because he's a businessman and sports is a business. So I'm honored that Tyrone and Dr. Williams collaborated on doing such a wonderful job on LeBron James, and hopefully LeBron will get this information in this book so he can see that we're taking him to another level. And as Bill Russell once said, I'm not a basketball player, I'm a man who plays basketball. And I would like for LeBron to reach that level. So don't be limited to just being a basketball player. And I'm sure this coloring book and the book on words, Cross and Across, will also enhance who he is as a man and not just an athlete.
Great. Give us an example of some of the things in this book. LeBron James.
Certainly. We see LeBron James as being audacious, as bold. So a person could find words that are related to audacious, words like audacity, you know. And then what they can do is they will see these words, then they will see the definition of these words, then they'll see the words in sentences. You see, as an educator, I want young boys and girls to learn words as well as they learn to play basketball. So LeBron James is an excellent candidate for this. You know, I did a book on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes.
And also on Mr. Barack Obama. But my granddaughter said to me one day, you need to do a book on LeBron James, because she is
How
a
old
star.
is she?
She's 15 years old.
15.
Plays with Spalding. She's on the varsity team.
And what's her
Micah Johnson
name?
is her name.
Well, that's good.
And she's doing very well. She said, Pa Gene, what about LeBron James? Now, she gave me a lot of other people, and I may do books on those other people. But LeBron James stuck out in our mind. And then when Mr. Whitney and I appeared on your show, you remember?
Yeah.
You asked the question about what are we going to do to help youth, and
Yeah,
you said,
right.
we are right now writing a book.
Right.
Well, the right now took a year, but that's okay. It's
Right.
here.
It's here.
And it came at a good time because my birthday is today, and the book came out last week.
Excellent.
Isn't that
Excellent.
something?
I tell you, it's
Yes.
fantastic.
And you know, Mr. Witt and I have talked about this book for many, many, many days and months. Mr. Witt is a word search himself, right, Mr. Witt?
I try to be. As I was saying earlier today, you know, I haven't met too many words that I don't like. There's a few that there's many that I have to.
You can't say them on TV,
No, I
right?
can't. That's true. That is true. Yeah, I enjoy words, and of course, with Dr. Williams being, I'm gonna call him a word Williams because his name is not Smith.
Right.
And we enjoy words, and we certainly enjoy working with young people, introducing them to words, because they are the masters of words. They just don't know it yet because they haven't studied enough to know that you are the master of words, and you shouldn't be mastered by words.
Right.
You should enjoy words. So I'm always inspired by Dr. Williams whenever I talk to him, because I know I'm going to either hear a word that I like or hear a new one that I need to incorporate into my vocabulary.
Right. Great. Dr. Williams, how do you stimulate youngsters with all the electronic gear that we have around to get into a book like this?
Oh, it's easy. And I'll say this to all the educators out there. I'll say this to all the parents out there. Young people like competition. I'll never forget the day when I was teaching word searches, and two of my students got so competitive that they wanted to engage in battle, in a physical battle.
They want to get
competing.
physical.
Oh, they want to get physical. And they learned the words because, you know, some years ago, a youngster said to me, Dr. Williams, we don't know these words, but if you teach us these words through word searches, we'll learn them. I learned from that young man, and now there we go. Now, this is not the last book. You know, we are thinking about doing books on people like Oprah Winfrey, people like Bill Cosby, people like the Williams sisters in tennis.
Right.
We are going all the way. We have the corner on this. There's no other book that's called Words Crossing Across.
No, I haven't seen any.
You'll see word seek and word search, but not words crossing across.
That's the key.
That is the key, and that's ours. And we're going to make it work for us. We're going to make it educate young boys and girls. We're going to make them more articulate, more eloquent. And we are doing this primarily to improve their reading, their writing, their speaking, and their scores on standardized tests, verbal scores on standardized tests.
Well, that's a good target to have. And I imagine utilizing LeBron James as attraction is a positive thing too.
Yes.
Because his name itself, you know, his association with basketball is there, but I think the combination of basketball and education is just as important.
You know, he's a strong believer in literacy. You know, he really wants to improve our young people, and he works with young people. And I'm hoping that this book could be a source of information for him as he works with young people across the nation.
And this is, you're saying this is nationwide, his program. What's the name of the program that he's
Well, he has
working
several
with?
programs.
Okay.
He has several
Give us
programs.
quickly,
I
give
don't
us
know
some.
the exact name.
He has a foundation.
He has a foundation, yeah.
LeBron James Foundation, where he works with young children. And if you recall, when he was when he went on national television to announce that he was going to go to the Miami
That he was gonna
basketball
move. Yes.
franchise, that the monies from that televised show went to the Boys and Girls Club and also to his foundation.
Great.
And, you know, I would say to anybody who is viewing us that this book, Words Crossing Across, Word Search on LeBron James, and the coloring book on LeBron James are good books to give
as
to
gifts,
youngsters. As gifts.
Right.
And especially to the needy kid, to the kid in the urban environment. You can give it to all kids. All kids will benefit from it.
Right.
But certainly, let's give these books to young people. This is the season, isn't it?
It's
to
great,
give.
Great
This
season.
is the season, so let's give.
Okay, I want to thank both of you, Mr. Whitten and Dr. Williams, for bringing this information to us. And actually, this is the combination of, like I said earlier, association with sports and education is a great combination, because just like Mr. Whitten was saying, the young athletes are getting involved and they don't understand what a very, very important word, and that's economics.
Yeah, and
because they have to get involved in economics in order to maintain. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to the second half. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to have chess and tennis by Mr. Larry Small. See you in a second. Welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Wasn't that some first half we had there? Dr. Williams' birthday and LeBron, everything is his books and education and word search. Now we have, this is really educational. We're dealing with tennis and chess. And we have Larry here, Small. He's the owner of CHOP. When he said he was the owner of CHOP, I was thinking of karate or something, you know. We're going to be dealing with chess and tennis. Dr. Williams, you always finding somebody, man. Every time I look, you introduce them. The elders are doing a great job, and I like to comment. You know,
I'm just good like that.
Congratulate you. You know,
I get better with age.
These outstanding people. Tell us about Larry.
Oh, Larry. Larry's fantastic. Where did I find Larry? Should I say?
Yes.
We found Larry at the First Baptist Church of Glen Arden.
Great.
I'm sure that all the people who live out there in Bowie, they know about the First Baptist Church of Glen Arden. We found him. How did we find him? He remembered me. And we started talking. And I can tell you that what really got me was when he started talking about tennis, when he started smiling, when he started talking about chess. that interested me because as an educator, you know, I'm interested, particularly in chess, because I know what it will do for young boys and girls. Well, that's how I found Larry, and I'm glad I found him. And I'm glad that he's here today to celebrate his gift, the gift that God has given him on my birthday.
Hey, great, fantastic. Larry, give us an example. Tell us, how did you get involved in this? I mean, you know, chess and tennis, one is outside and one is inside. You know, tell us about that.
Well, I've started tennis and chess when I was a young guy, younger than I am now, playing tennis at my previous career, which was science. And I developed a shot in tennis called the drop chop. The drop chop.
That means the ball hits over the net and does a dance.
It does a dance and comes back
then
on the other side.
And then it comes back to you,
Yes,
not to the opponent.
Not to the opponent. You don't want them to hit it if you can help it.
Right.
They might knock it away. But that was one of my gifts in my athletic world, as well as for many years, over 30-some years, I've been playing chess. And to be able to give back to the community as an encouragement to the youth as well as to adults, I started a company called Changing the Hearts of People. I got that name from knowing how we excel.
And that's what chops means. Hey,
changing the hearts of people.
I was wondering.
That's
changing the mind. Great.
Changing the hearts of people.
Hearts of people.
For many, many years, we played tennis, but we never make it to the next level, like Arthur Ashe or the Williams sisters and others. So we want to be able to impart into them that they can be great at tennis and great at chess. We now, just recently, within the last couple of weeks, have the first black grandmaster, Maurice Ashley. He was first international master, whom I played against in chess and lost. Like,
well, you say and lost.
And lost, like 29 others. Like 29 others. He played a simultaneous game. But I want to tell you a little bit about the chess pieces and
all right,
what the names of them are.
Okay.
And then I'll show you the quickest checkmate that some of you that might be watching this viewcast will be able to do on your opponent the next time that you play.
Great. I'll try to remember when I play my grandson.
It'll be
he was washing me away.
Yeah. But most time when they are experienced, this won't happen against. But I'm first going to show you the name of the pieces. We'll start from this side. This will be a castle or a rook. I'll just tell you how it moves. It moves straight or sideways if nothing else is in front of it. The knight is unique. It is the only piece that can move.
You will hold it down near the board. Yes.
It can be the only piece that can move over another piece. This is called the knight or the horse. The bishop.
Yeah, hold it down near the board.
The bishop moves diagonal and has to stay on its color. This is the bishop. Then the granddaddy of them all, the game, what it's about, is the king. You try to get to the king, but you cannot take the king off the board in standard chess. It moves one space at a time in any direction. This is the king. And the queen, once it gets out, it's the most powerful piece on the board. It's used to protect the king as well as all the other pieces are used to protect the king. The queen moves diagonally, straight across, back and forth, any direction, any spaces, as long as it's free to move. Then you have on the other side, they repeat themselves, the bishop, the knight, and the rook. And then in front, what we call the foot soldiers, the pawns. These are the pawns. These are the foot soldiers. And they move one or two spaces in the first move. Now back to that granddaddy of them all, the quick checkmate, which is you have the pawns move out in front of the king, leaving the king square open, which is this square, the F7 square. And you move your queen such a way, it's called a check on the king. It is now lined up to the king. And the king has nothing that can block it or take the queen. Checkmate. Game's over. We shake hands. and we play again.
What about all these guys? What happened to them?
They're friends.
In the back,
They're called friends now.
They're friends now.
They're friends now. You have two sides of the board. You have a white, and then you have a black, light and dark. They're teams. They make up teams. They're playing against the opponent. You're playing against your opponent. You're trying to get to his side, and he's trying to invade your side. So,
when you say side, what are you speaking about? Okay. Where they're lined up? You know, like in what do you call it? Checkers. You know, you take a 3 jump, then you in the king row, and then you have a king, and then what happens with the king? He can roam all the way around.
Correct.
It's not similar to that.
Not similar at all. The only similarity in checkers is that the pieces move diagonal, and you have the queen, the king, and the bishop. They're the only ones that are able to move diagonal. As well as in checkers, you know, you jump over.
Right, you jump over it, right.
But not in chess. You have to move to the space where that piece is. That's what chess is.
In other words, in chess, you replace one piece.
One piece, that's correct.
And as you replace those pieces, you know, like in checkers, you know, you pick that up. You know,
that's
if
correct.
I jump you, and I'll take that off the board.
It becomes yours. You put it on your side.
Yeah, but with chess, it's different. Is that right?
And not in terms of taking the piece. Once you replace it and put it in that space, that piece comes. You place it on your side, and you can, if you advance the pawn down to the 8th rank. They call ranks and files. Then you can get that piece back. You can ask for whatever you want. You can ask for a knight, a bishop, rook, or queen.
Ask for a king.
No, you can't ask for a king.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm sorry. You only get one king. There's only one
I
king.
can't ask for a king.
There's only one. There's only one.
So you can't. So the king is untouchable.
Untouchable. But the king can take any piece that you put in front of it. If it's not protected. So the king
how do
can
you
be used,
protect? How do you
protect the king?
Yeah, right.
You use all your forces that are in front. Say your pawns, your knights, your bishops. And one of the unique moves in chess is that they can castle. You put him behind another line of defense. You strengthen that as much as you possibly can. You strengthen that line of defense. That's called protecting king.
So the idea is to protect the king.
The idea is to protect the king. That's correct.
You don't leave him vulnerable to the knights and all the other.
But we find that young players, when they're just learning, they like the mobility of the king.
Right.
So occasionally you will find the king out in the middle of the floor, middle of the board, and he is very, very vulnerable and can be checkmated.
So what is the strategy involved?
A lot of strategy. You have to utilize all your pieces in
and is there a time
symmetrical
limit?
way. There are games that play with time. You do play with the clock. Some games can last as few as 1 minute, 3 minutes, or some games can last a month, a week to a month. Normally,
a week to a month.
That's correct.
I mean, do you get a break to go to the bathroom and eat?
Yes.
Well, who watches the chessboard while you make the moves?
You don't have to. Notice this board here. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. It has letters and numbers, and the letters and numbers are what we call notation, algebraic notation on the chessboard. And no matter where you are, I can be playing you in China or Russia. And we will know each other's move because of that notation. It's a mathematical scheme with the letters and the numbers. H8, G8.
Well, it's got
the same all over.
Got letters. What is that? From H to D.
From A to H and from 1 to 8.
A to H.
64 squares on the board.
Right. 64 squares. So
64 squares.
I see. Now, when you first look at that you can play checkers on that board too.
You certainly can. It's the exact same board.
The exact same board.
The exact same board.
I see. I'm familiar with that.
Yes,
my grandson, man, he whipped me a few times, but I can beat him in checkers. Man, I tear him up,
Right.
But in chess, he generally puts me. knocks me out. But now, how do you get this schooling that you have? How do you get people? How do you get them involved in? And what is there a grade level? Do the seniors play the young people, or how do you?
Well,
do it?
that's the ultimate goal, to be able to bridge the gap between the youth and the seniors or adults. But in the schools, we have several different programs. We have the after-school program that I teach in, as well as we have a curriculum-based program that I teach during the regular school year. And that is a very, very encouraging program for many of the youth who say they don't want to play chess, but by making it mandatory, they now are learning to play it, as well as gaining.
Do you get a grade in chess?
Yes, you do get a grade.
Okay, how do you grade it?
I grade it on basis of participation and what they learn about the chess.
Do you have written tests?
I'm gonna this year I will have written tests. This year I will have written tests.
Yeah.
Previously, I based the test on their skill level. In other words, I give them a rating. If they're able to play the game better than they were playing when they first came in, then they're going to get an A.
Oh, okay.
It's an easy A.
It's an easy A.
An easy A.
Give us some information about where you have these classes and everything, the people that you actually set up programs for.
One of the schools that I teach at now is called Jabez Christian Academy. I've been teaching there for the last 3 or 4 years. And another is Shining Stars, which is an after-school program. And the students there are very, very enthused. They just can't wait to play chess, many of them. And they just continue to learn.
Okay, so those are two. What we're trying to do is get the information out where the people that are the viewers that are interested, they can make contacts, because we have your email at the end of the program. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, those are the only two that you're functioning with now?
No, I also function with Young Gifted and Preparatory. That's a tennis program. The ages of them are about 5 to 7. And they
5 to 7. Well, what about the seniors, man?
Well, I work with them too, but they don't come out as often, especially when it gets cold. and we have an indoor program for the
seniors,
youth, for the youth.
For the youth,
yes.
I say indoor program, and then your program in tennis doesn't start till the spring.
No, tennis is continuing. It's ongoing.
It's year round too,
because it's indoors.
It's indoors. Okay. Well, I want to thank Dr. Williams here and Larry for bringing us this information about tennis, and you call it CHOP, right?
That's changing the hearts of people.
Right, and you're bringing a new approach, and maybe you can get. What about the electronics? They have tennis and they have tennis and chess on electronics now too.
That's right. They play tennis with the Wii.
With the Wii, right?
Yes,
my grandson has that too.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You play tennis with the Wii,
and you play
really
chess on all most of your computers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank
you.
you.
And hey, you guys want to sit around, and you seniors got to come up. We can't let young people, we're going to get this chess down. I'm working on mine. But checkers, man, I can kill him on that. This has been Ed Brown. I want to thank the evolutionary elders for, again, being on the Ed Brown Show and bringing these outstanding guests. See you next time.